Good afternoon, guys, from San Felipe, Mexico. The first one is going to be a together thing, but Rebecca and I are both only children. But there's an adoption on your side, so you have a brother, and there's been some marriages on my side and stepbrothers. But for the most part, only children and only children personalities in our house.
All right, one for me. The first one for me that you might not know. We talk all the time about having grown up in California, but I was actually born in Kansas, and I lived there until I was 8. I don't know, there might even be a Kansas trip in the future. You'll have to wait and see.
All right, my turn to admit that I'm a germaphobe, especially in public bathrooms. I am one of those people that when you're done washing your hands after going to the bathroom, I prefer a paper towel because I can use that paper towel and open the doorknob if it's not the kind that I can push open with my leg.
Another together one. I think y'all have figured out that we like to travel. That's no big secret. We thought we might tell you how many countries we've each been to. I have been to 44, and I've been to 6 continents. The only one left for me is Antarctica.
We'll conquer that one.
On a cruise.
Or like a snowcat expedition vehicle.
Or a cruise. And Ben has been to
17 or 18 countries?
18.
Yep. You got an earlier start on the international traveling than I did, but over the past 11 years, we've encompassed 17 countries together, 18, give or take, maybe including the U.S., which would segue well into that story about the ceiling falling into us, or on us, while we were in Greece. So it was my first real international trip. Not that going to Mexico wasn't international, but first trip to Europe. Yeah. Went to Athens. And it was right around New Year's. So we fly in, and they'd been getting a lot of rain, and we got a small hotel in like an older historic district, like 3 to 5 flights of stairs, tight little rooms, an awesome little experience of a place. So we get settled into our room, which is probably about half the size of this motorhome. And it's like a twin-sized bed. So we're tired after a cross-Atlantic flight and all the tight, cramped airplanes. And you know what it's like. And crawl into bed, spooning, because that's the only way the two of us are fitting in this bed. And just as we start to doze off, the plaster ceiling, like probably a size equivalent of twice the size of that twin bed, just comes falling down on us. And it's not really like heavy, so it's not like bricks falling, it's just like plaster falling, and it just went everywhere. It broke a little glass shelf on the vanity in the room, and it was a mess.
Well, since we've been talking about Greece, we might as well tell them that you don't like olives.
Which segues into that joke from the video you're probably going to be watching today about the olive in that martini.
Because he doesn't like them. We've tried all kinds of them too. I mean, we thought maybe it's just the canned ones you get here in the States. I was sure we couldn't go to Greece and go olive tasting without him finding some olives that he liked. But we went to Kalamata and went olive tasting on the Peloponnese Peninsula, and he didn't even like those.
Nope. I like an occasional tapenade. If they're on a salad and I can pick them off, they're gone. Which works out well because she picks off the green bell peppers and I take those from her.
You're not really allowed to take very many of them, though. They're not good for the rest of the household.
Okay, another tidbit. Green bell peppers give me gas. So moving on again. So I get to share one about you now. Mm-hmm. Rebecca plays the piano. She used to play it more before we met or in her childhood, but she plays the piano, an accomplished pianist, and we have a kind of cool electric piano in our living room at home. Mm-hmm. And you play some doon, 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 doon type song, Canon D or something.
Canon in D by Paco Bell.
That's it. Well, I guess I need to grab the props for the next one. But we're kind of kooky.
Sounds scary.
Yeah.
We're not kooky. We're conscientious.
We're conscientious. We're not full-blown like extremist granola, but there are some things that just don't make sense to us. And we do not wear antiperspirant. That doesn't mean we don't wear deodorant. We use a different kind of deodorant. We believe that the aluminum, which is a metal that is in pretty much every antiperspirant on the market, is not good for your health because you go and rub a metal underneath your armpit. You have lymph nodes, you have pores that are kind of designed to release the toxins in your body. Especially for women, you have these lymph nodes and there's breast cancer risks. So we use, it's kind of like a salt, but this is a salt block deodorant, and this is like a liquid version of it for Rebecca. This has lasted me a solid 2 years, and it was like $8. Good stuff. But you do need to beware. If you switch from antiperspirant to these, in about a week, you will notice the most eye-watering stench coming from your armpits. And that is your body detoxing, because those pores that have been kept closed by the deodorant for all those years are now open, and it is just rancid. So make sure you plan accordingly. Like, don't go managing a conference like this one did when
it's about a
you're
3-week
detoxing.
detox period. I don't know if this will come as too much of a shock to you guys. I think it's probably known that I really love to read. I think you've mentioned it on occasion that I could spend a whole day, which actually this past weekend I did. I spent like a day and a half doing nothing but reading.
Yeah.
And I enjoy all kinds of books, classics, modern novels, nonfiction. I like it all.
So we mentioned earlier Rebecca's Kansas heritage. I have a little interesting heritage of my own. I am quarter Japanese. My grandfather met Grandma during the occupation and reconstruction period of Japan after World War II. They hence made my mom, made me quarter.
All right, so this is something that we're doing right now.
Because we have an
because we
RV
have
park
the
with
opportunity.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So normally you don't get to an RV park that has good enough Wi-Fi that you can stream anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on a limited data plan.
Not for long, though.
Not for long. Not
But that's
for
another
long.
story.
That's another story. But amazingly enough, this RV park has fantastic internet. So we have been binge watching Designated Survivor.
Which is an interesting show to watch because it's not available on Netflix in the US, and it's only available on Netflix here in Mexico.
You guys probably won't find this next one surprising. It doesn't shock me at all, but I know how much of a control freak my husband is.
I know where she's going with that one, and it has to do with flying on commercial airplanes. I'm not afraid of flying. I love flying. I just hate being a passenger and not knowing what the heck's going on up in the cockpit where all the instrumentation and engine controls are. It's a weird phobia, but when we're taking off, as soon as they throttle up, I start counting 1,000, 2, 1,000. And if we get above 35 or 38, 1,000, I've done this for years, so I know when panic mode starts really kicking in.
You shared something that you don't like. I thought I would share my favorite food. So my favorite thing to eat in the whole wide world happens to be in my favorite city in the whole wide world. And it's in the Latin Quarter in Paris, having a gyro. Best part is that they put your French fries inside of the gyro and wrap it up so that then when you pull your French fries out, they have tzatziki sauce on them.
So as you guys know, we have a lot of irons in the fire, and the ultimate goal is to make that magic buck. And when I say a buck, that means you need to pick up some quarters, some nickels, and some dimes to equal a buck. Everybody's buck is different. Ours is a broad sense of travel. Yours could be RVing or staying at home with the kids or pursuing a passion project like art or writing a novel. But clearly ours is traveling. And one of the sources of income we use is a network marketing company. It's a great industry, and one's success and failure pretty much lies solely on yourself and your self-discipline, and that's something we've always been very good at, pushing ourselves above and beyond the limits to achieve our goals.
7 years later,
We're here. We're doing it.
Yep. We saved our best favorite ones for last. So for me, something you might not know is that I lived on an island in the Caribbean as a child, Dominica, and I lived in Thailand in college. And that's part of what really fed my desire to travel. I got started at a really early age. When we moved to Dominica, that was actually my first time overseas, and I was 10. And I kind of never stopped since.
It's contagious, too.
It is. Are you prepared? Have
I'm
you been
ready.
stretching?
I have stretched.
You're stretched. And
Actually, I don't need to stretch.
Oh, you don't?
It's that magnificent.
It is. It just...
Yep.
You can do it anywhere, anytime,
On demand.
anyhow.
Yep.
On demand,
On
really.
demand, yep. So what we're alluding to is I have a magical tongue.
Oh, that's taking it a little too far.
It's an impressive tongue. How about that?
Okay.
I can touch my nose with my tongue, like no problem at all. And it actually can go even further if I push it. Are we ready for this?
Okay.
We gotta get the side profile
okay.
now.
I'm ready. Let me get out of the way.
Yeah, I know.
Can you do it? Are you gonna get there? Oh, wow. He did it.
Mm-hmm. Now that's a tongue, guys.
Are we done now?
We're done now.
Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of time where we revealed more about ourselves. Be sure to subscribe so that you can keep getting magnificent demonstrations of Ben's tongue and maybe some of our adventures. Did you just stick your tongue out again?
No.
Oh. But we'll see you tomorrow.